Hello and welcome to this live webinar. I'm very excited to present to you this webinar. And if you're here because you have a dog and you're struggling with your dog, or your dog is showing behavioral issues, or in general, you're having trouble with your dogs, this is the right place to be. In this live webinar, I'm going to teach you a lot of things that no other dog trainers or no professional in dog training industry is talking about. You're going to learn a lot of stuff. So I have a presentation ready. Welcome. My name is Saro. I'm a dog trainer, also coach dog owners, and I use a simple, fun method of dog training without the use of treats, force, aversive tools or methods, or domination. I use play and praise as a reward system to train dogs, and I'm going to explain a little bit more in this webinar. Just a housekeeping, a little bit. Wanted to ask you that if you have any questions, please hold on to those questions, and at the end of the webinar, if there's time, I'll go and answer your questions. There will be a time that you can ask your questions. During the webinar, I've divided it in few segments. Uh, in various sections, you can ask questions related to that segment. So feel free to ask questions at those sections. So, and the other thing is, just want you to get your favorite drink and just sit back, relax, and enjoy the webinar. Have something to take notes, maybe a pen and paper or phone or whatever you use to take notes. Just have that in case if you need to take some notes. So let's get started. So I'm going to be right here. This is, as I said, it's a live webinar. I'm right here and I'm going to be uh, answering your questions. But let's go through the presentation and the webinar that I have created. I can see that Cynthia is here as well. So feel free to just ask questions at the moment that I ask you to ask questions regarding that segment. So welcome to the webinar. My name is Saro, and those are Harvey and Annie, my two dogs that I have at the moment. There has been a spelling error there. It's actually Annie, not Anil. I'll fix that later. So, what you will learn in this live webinar is that you're going to learn about selecting the dog training. You're going to learn about selecting the dog training method. There's a difference between systems and methods of dog training. I'll explain those a lot more. You're going to learn a simple secret of dog training. You're going to learn a simple command that you should be using every day with your dog. And I'm going to teach you how to have the perfect dog as well. So let's get going. And this information that you're learning now, it's coming from me, that I have been there and I have done that as well. I used to be a student. I used to be a dog owner who was clueless, had no idea what he was doing. I had a beagle who was full of surprises and full of ways to challenge me. So I attended dog training classes myself. This is more than 20 years ago, right? And now I am a teacher, right? I'm an instructor. I'm a coach. I'm a dog trainer in myself. So I went from being a student to a coach. And, I've done group classes, I've trained thousands of students, more than I can count for. Um, I have done outdoor training classes with students. I have done puppy training classes with little puppies. Overall, I've been working with dogs and dog owners for more than 20 years. Wow. It's been a long journey, but it's been a fun and interesting journey. So I have been able to learn about dogs. I have been able to crack the code. As a dog owner myself, as a dog trainer myself, I have been able to crack the code of how to deal with dogs. For instance, this is a picture that a few years ago I took it with some of my dogs, Harvey and Jonah and some other dogs. I took these dogs to the photo studio to take a picture of them. And the photographer had booked a session for me with dogs to take a picture for about 3-4 hours. But we got there and I told the dogs, sit, lie down. And they sat, lie down. And when I stood beside them, we took the picture. Took no more than 5-10 minutes. And we were done. So that means these dogs were really obeying me. That was an amazing thing to see, that these dogs did exactly what I wanted to do. And they didn't do it because I forced them. They did it because they wanted to do it. They were happy to do this. And it was very fun to do an activity like this, to take pictures with dogs. So the problem is that we have to understand that in general, you or your dog learn with a system. So what that means is the system is how you learn and how you apply the training that you learn to your dog, right? You have to basically be able to have a system that you can transform or transfer this information to your dog. That's called dog training system. Systems are different, right? System is the way you learn. Now, how do you learn, right? Because we have to focus on you as a dog owner to train you first. 60% to 90% of dog training is actually training and coaching or educating the dog owner, you. We have to teach you first to learn how to deal with your dog. And about 10 to 30% of the dog training is actually training the dog. So a lot of information has to go through you as a dog owner than the dog. Believe me, training the dog is the easiest thing to do. And there are a lot of systems in this day and age that you can use to learn. And what are the most popular dog training systems? They are, you attend a puppy class or you attend a group class, dog training class. Maybe you read, maybe you watch videos on YouTube, maybe you hire a private dog trainer, maybe you learn something online, right? Or you somehow you learn everything on your own. Let me know in the chat area or if you're watching this later in the comment area, how do you learn about dogs? Which method is most closest to you? Which method do you use? Which method you have used to learn about dogs and about your dog or give information to your dog? Let me know. It will be very interesting to learn. So these are the most popular forms of systems of dog owners learning. Now there are pros and cons of training dogs or training systems when we use. Let's talk about first the cons of training systems. Okay, the cons of training system is, for example, here's a puppy training class, and this is one of the last classes that students have attended, and they're taking a group photo, right? So you can see the chaos. So these are supposed to be trained dogs, right? Look at the looks of the dog owners. They have no idea what's going on. They're confused themselves. And look at the dogs. They're not well behaved, right? This is supposed to be a group photo of the dogs at the end of the class. And when you attend a puppy class, for example, it's just too distracting, and it's very stimulating for an untrained dog to be in that environment and learn. So puppy classes in general, in my opinion, are not the ideal environment for dogs to be. For if your purpose is to train your dog and learn something from dog trainers about puppies, for example, this is not the environment you want to be. Puppy classes are also an environment that basically the dog is just being trained how to be fed, as you can see. And most puppy training classes are like that. They're boring, right? They're boring, and the dog trainer is just teaching you how to feed the dog, basically. Or, on the other hand, the puppies are there just playing together. This is not the environment for you to learn. This is waste of time and energy for you. Group classes in general, let's say you're attending an adult group class, right? They're also too distracting and too stimulating for untrained dogs and dog owners to learn. Dogs are just driving themselves crazy. They're not comfortable to be in that room. Um, the dog owners are just distracted. They have no idea what's going on, and they're just not focused. They're not learning anything. And the dog trainer, that's me, is trying so hard to teach something to these dog owners, but nothing is going as planned. And again, as I said, I've been through these, and this is what I'm sharing with you. No other dog trainer will share this with you. They will ask you to bring your dog to the group class, waste time and energy and money, but I'm sharing with you that these type of classes do not work. Even if you hire a private dog trainer, a professional dog trainer such as Cesar Milan, for example, the dog trainer itself can be distracting and overwhelming for the dog and also for you. Okay, so dog trainer is somebody who's a stranger and is dealing with your dog. Your dog may be frightened from the dog trainer, may be protecting the dog owner. There's so many things going on in the dog's head and in your head when you're dealing with a dog trainer that, again, it's so distracting, so waste of time and energy. Plus, we're not getting the results and information that we need, and we're not learning anything. Again, we are not taking advantage of the opportunity that we have there. Now, let's talk about the pros of training system. Yes, you may be, going in a group class. You're working with a dog trainer, yes, but that dog trainer is basically after, if you're attending an hour class, it's spending maximum 10 minutes with you, maximum, right? Because the dog trainer has to divide between uh, 6, 10, 12 students. You get lucky if you have 10 minutes of working with a dog trainer. Usually it's 2 to 3 minutes per session. So you don't get much out of it either. Again, even if you're working with a dog trainer, private dog trainer, the dog is just overwhelmed by the dog trainer itself. The dog trainer could be the best dog trainer in the world, but the dog is going to listen to that dog trainer and is going to be obeying that dog trainer, but not to it's not going to listen to you. This dog trainer could be presenting an aggressive energy to the dog, and the dog may be frightened from the dog trainer. So you never know what you're going to get when you work with that system. The best system is for you and your dog to learn in a neutral, quiet, and calm environment, right? That's the environment that kids or dogs or humans can learn, right? That's the most ideal environment that information can be transferred to the human or the dog. When the environment is neutral, it's quiet, and it's calm. Okay. So where should you train your dog then? Right? Where is the ideal place or the environment to train your dog or learn things? The best place is at your home, where the dogs are nice and cozy, comfortable. There's no distraction. The mind is relaxed. The brain is in calm state of mind. The body is happy, joyful, relaxed. This is the ideal place and time and energy and system to learn and to train. So your home is the best place to train a dog. That's where training should start. That's where dog training has to start developing the foundation, right? And I call this progressive teaching. You take one step at a time when you're teaching or learning whatever you're doing, right? When it comes to dogs. Overall, dogs learn also in different speeds as well. So you have to adjust the speed, right? So you know your dog is at home, is calm and relaxed. You're teaching it in a different speed. You go fast or you go slow, depending on your dog's level of learning or your level of learning as well. Also, you have to remember that dogs get distracted easily. That's why classes or private dog trainers are not ideal because they distract your dog and they can't focus on learning. Also, they need to be gradually exposed to distractions. You can't just all of a sudden take your dog puppy from home to the class and expect your dog to behave properly and learn something also. So you have to expose it in gradually, right? Gradual levels. I call it the 5 levels of dog training. These are you start training your dog at home where it's nice and calm and neutral and relaxed. And when your dog learns, or you learn yourself exactly what you're supposed to do, and your dog learns what you're supposed to do, then you take it to the backyard, for example. And if you're living in the building, you take it in the hallways and you practice again the same thing that you learn at home, you practice it over there. Once you're confident that your dog has learned level 2, then you go level 3, which is the front yard. You practice everything that you've learned again in the front yard. You bulletproof those information until you go to the next level. So if you can either do it in front yard, or if you live in the building, you can do it in the parking garage, right? And then after that, you go to the streets and you start practicing those information. So for example, if you're teaching sit and stay command, if you're teaching sit and stay command at home and you're getting 100% good results and your dog sits and stays for 5-10 minutes, and you do it on the street, you start practicing on the street. Is my dog going to sit and stay for 5 minutes as well? And if it does, then you take it to the parks. And I have divided the parks also into 3 levels. Level 1 of the park is where there's no humans, no dogs. You can hardly see anybody. If you practice there and you get good results, then you go to a second level of part, which is a little bit more distracting. There are more people there. And then if that works, then you go to level 3, which is the dog park, right? So what most dog owners do is they move the dog, or they move the information or lack of information from home to dog park all of a sudden, right? Within a day or two or a week or so. Dog training classes are basically also level 3. This is where your dog is not ready yet, right? There's distractions. There's some distraction. It could be a big class as well, and it's level 4 or even level 5. So you go from level 1 to 3 and 4 and 5 all of a sudden, and you expect your dog to learn or behave properly. So that's not going to work. That's not going to do the job, right? That's going to work against you. So even hiring a dog trainer is level 2, let's say, right? There's somebody coming to your home, right? Again, your dog is not ready. You have to accomplish level 1 before you move to level 2, 3, 4, and 5. And that takes time. That takes a lot of uh, patience, information for you to get a dog who can do things outdoors, right? Outside of the house is a different world. You don't expect your dog to behave properly. And that expectation is the problem. That people think my dog is a dog, should be okay outside. Why is it driving him crazy? Why is it driving me crazy? Because you didn't take the right steps. That's the reason why your dog is not behaving properly when you step out of the door of your house, because you're exposing your dog to various distractions, various variety of things that can distract and mess up your journey in dog training, that you're not going to get great results. Am I being, is this making sense? Is this making sense? This is the first segment of this webinar. So I'm opening the Q&A here, and I'm going to answer questions related to these topics that we talked about now. And then shortly, I'm going to continue as well. For instance, Carrie says, totally agree, which is why I quit training in retail. Yes. That's one of the things that, for example, PetSmart does. They train the dogs in their store. That's not a good idea at all. Cynthia says agree. And Cynthia is also a member of the channel, says, how many questions. What is a good time to train your dog? This is where I lost it. Should you feed your dog before training? How long should I do the training? Cynthia, I'm going to answer this in a moment. I'm going to keep this answer on the side. I'll answer these questions for sure. And I'm glad that MB is saying it makes sense. So let's continue with the webinar. And Cynthia, as I said, I'll come back and answer your questions, definitely. Now, let's talk about dog training methods. Okay, so until now, we talked about dog training systems. Let's talk about dog training methods. So systems are what, or any way you learn the information. How do you get the information, and how you implement those information is the system. Now, dog training methods are different. Dog training methods, there are almost 7 forms of dog training methods. There are positive reinforcement, scientific training, clicker training, e-collar training, model, rival, or mirror training, alpha dog or dominance training, and relationship-based dog training. So what basically these are the methods that dog trainers or some dog owners use to give the information to the dog, right? So these are the ways that dogs learn or get the information or get trained, right? That's what dog training methods are. And as I said, there's about 7 of them, right? And if you ask everybody is going to be telling you that I have used it this way, this method, or that method, or all of these, or some of these, and all of them, in my opinion, they're not ideal. But I use a combination of positive training, scientific training, mirror training, and relationship based training. So I combine these four for my own dog training method, right? So I don't want you to think that I'm against these methods, but I don't recommend clicker training. I don't recommend e-collar or shock collar training. I don't recommend alpha dog or dominance training as well. These are not the ideal methods of dog training. Now, the secret of getting results from your dog is it doesn't have to do with the method that you use, but it has to do with understanding how dogs learn overall or in general. So dogs learn by association to positive experiences and having healthy relationship with their with their owners. Basically, good versus bad, just like humans. You are attracted to more good stuff and you stay away from bad stuff, right? That's natural. That's nature. We are ourselves animals, human animals, and we follow nature, right? So basically, good versus bad. So the as I said, there are two. When we look at those methods, you get overwhelmed with all these ways that you can train your dog, and it's too much. It's overwhelming. One of the reasons dog owners, they don't train their dogs because there's so many choices, so many ways of training dogs. And I want to simplify it for you. When you simplify, it makes more sense to you as a human, as a dog owner, what to do and what not to do. So by understanding that dogs learn from having a healthy relationship with their dogs, that's a key number one. That's one thing that you have to understand and accept and realize, that if you have a healthy relationship with your dog is going to learn fast. You're saying what has to do with relationship? I'll explain in a moment. But also, dogs learn by association, good and bad, right? So if you are a mean person, angry person, right? Your dog is going to be scared of you, is not going to be able to connect with you. Therefore, you're not going to get great results. If you are a calm, confident person, your dog is going to be more attracted to you because you are the one who's giving the information to the dog. Dog trainers are not giving information to the dog. I'm not giving information to your dogs. You're the one who's giving information to your dog. You could be giving information in a mean way, you could be giving information in a nice way. You choose. But if you choose the nice way, confident way, right, your dog is going to be more willing to learn and learn from you, right? Just look at the expressions here. A mean person, when it gives information, look at the expression of this dog. That dog is saying, you know what, I'm not sure. I don't know if I can trust you. I don't know if I want to do anything you ask me to do or learn from you. But when you are calm and confident, the dog says, I love you. I will do anything for you. My God, you are so confident and calm and kind. I'm going to do anything you ask me to do. Right? So that's the relationship. So a dog who loves you will do anything you ask it for it. Understand this. Relationship is very important in learning. Dogs have been bred and designed by humans for humans, and they will do anything for a human who's kind and calm and confident. That's why we breed them. That's why we breed dogs, right? So basically, also dogs learn with association as well. So if you have a good relationship and you start implementing proper association to your dog is going to say, give it to me. I want to learn. I want to do anything you ask me to do. I want to just please you, right? So dogs learn by saying, oh, this is good, or that thing is bad. This was a positive association. That was a negative association. Dogs, whatever your dog wants, gets it, or your dog doesn't get what it wants. These are the bad side, these are the good side. The more of these you provide for your dog, the faster and better your dog learns, right? So, what are some of the good things that your dog likes? And this is not my personal opinion, this is a general opinion of dogs, okay? Dogs love to play, dogs love to be praised, dogs love to interact with their surroundings. As long as you provide your dog's basic emotional needs, your dog is happy. And the last thing a dog needs is food. Okay. In many people's mind, food is the first thing, but food is the last thing a dog is thinking about. Dogs, they don't live to eat, they eat to live. It's very important to remember this. They are living they don't live to eat. They eating because they just want to live, just like humans. And what are the bad things that dogs stay away? When you introduce force, pain, sadness, punishment, and you leave your dog home alone, these are punishment. Being home alone in general is a punishment for a dog, because animals and dogs in general, canines, if one of the members of the pack is sick or ill, the pack leaves that sick and ill dog or wolf behind. And when you're alone, that means you're dead. Your life is over. So therefore, being alone is equal to punishment. So remember that. So these are the good and bad things. One of the best things that dogs love and naturally are born to um, to live with, it's play and praise, because it has so many positive effects when a dog is playing or you're praising a dog, because that gives the opportunity for the dog to interact, right? And you're providing your dog's basic emotional needs when you play or praise your dog. And also, dogs are having fun. And if dogs are having fun, they learn faster and better. So, play and praise are two things that dogs need, right? So, in here, I'm going to show you a short video from Dr. Carolina Westblond, right? She's a PhD a theologist. Let's watch and see what she says. Taking a minute to load, but she's in a zoo and she's interacting with an animal. It's not a dog, but you'll see what it is. But she's going to explain what it is. For some reason, my internet is acting up. Let me see. Come on. Just going to wait a second for it to load and watch this. It should be playing. I don't know why it's not playing at this moment. You usually have a good internet connection and I get good results. I wish I could play this. It's not playing. All right, I'm gonna skip. Wish I could play this. I'm gonna give one more try. Give me a moment. Let me see if I can get this going. Let me see here. Just give me a second. Let me figure it out. Let me see what's going on. Just gonna refresh the page. Just give me a second. Let me just refresh the page. It could fix the problem. Whenever in trouble, refresh the page. That's what I've been told, but it doesn't seem to be working. Okay. So you can see, right? Play, it has amazing effects. Every animal has the criteria of play, right? They have the ability to play. If a dog is not playful, there's something that we have to work on, which is a different story. But play overall, as you can see, it affects the relationship between a strange human and a seal. Different species, they were playing together. So if you use play as a reward and training method, it allows the dog overall to gain confidence. The dog feels that is in control. When you're playing a game with the dog feels that it's in control. That brings the confidence level up. It improves the social interaction of that dog. When dogs are playing, the social interaction improves. It reduces the fear of life, especially in dogs who have been traumatized or are fearful. It makes them to be optimistic about life overall. It promotes cooperation. It's a great reinforcer instead of food or treats. Many dog owners, they think food is a reinforcer, but play is a great reinforcer. It improves the relationship and the bond with your dog. I have the best relationship with my dog because of the play. Play has so many effects in ways that food cannot provide. It affects from cellular level, very deeper level. When you play with the dog, it improves the brain and it affects the dog's cellular level. It improves the memory and helps the dog to learn faster and repeat the wanted behavior often when you play with the dog, when you use play as a reward system. It allows the dog to love the environment that is being trained. At home, if you play with your dog is going to love that environment. If you play at the park, your dog is going to love that park. It has so many benefits. It increases physical and psychological arousal. You want your dog to be aroused in certain times, not all the time, but there are certain times and certain scenarios that you want your dog to be aroused. And when you can control that arousal, you're in control as well. And also, you get better benefits. So, there are so many benefits when you use play as a reward for training. Traditional dog training using treats or food or tools or gadgets or domination and all that, they are band aid solutions. They just deal with the moment, with the issue that you're having at that moment. But if you want to get deeper, long lasting solutions and results, you have to focus on relationship based dog training, right? And as I said, I use relationship based dog training when I use play and praise as a reward, right? So you get better results. If your dog falls in love with you, you're in heaven. Your goal is to make your dog to fall in love with you, not to need you, but fall in love with you, right? When you allow the dog to fall in love with you from its heart and a deeper level, you get great results, right? One more thing, you have to remember that dog training takes time. It takes time to train a dog. It takes time to change a dog's behavior. If it's a used to certain behavior, it takes time to change that behavior. Just like is taking my wife, for example, a lot of time to change my behavior towards something certain things, right? I make so many mistakes that my dog is saying, my wife is saying to me, it's taking so long for you to learn certain things because it takes time to change a behavior in humans, in dogs, in animals in general. You have to remember it takes time to change a behavior. It doesn't happen overnight. You can't learn anything in one sitting. It's time consuming also to have a dog, right? It takes time for all this. So you have to invest time in your dog, right? So in conclusion, you will get great results with your dog and have the perfect dog if you are motivated. What I mean by motivated, if you have really an issue, if you have a problem with your dog and you're motivated to change that behavior and remove that problem from your life and make a dog that have a dog who's in love with you, if you're motivated and you're willing to commit, you have to be committed to your dog. Your commitment is very important. You have to commit to the system that I just explained and the method that you're going to learn and invest time and money. If you do all this, you will have the perfect dog. And this is reality. I just want you to know that it's a reality check. It doesn't happen for no reason. You can't have a perfect dog for no reason. If you get your information about your dog for free, you get confused because you're listening to hundreds of opinions out there. You get confused. You don't know what you're doing. You're going to be projecting this confusion to your dog, and you're not going to get the results you want. But if you pay for the information, right? If you pay information, that means you're committed and invest time and money and energy to it, you become a confident person. And when you are confident, you select one thing and you do it, and you become a confident person. You can project that energy to your dog as well. If you're not confident, you're gonna mess up, right? So you have to be confident, right? Let's see. Let's see if there's any two questions regarding this segment that I just talked about. Uh, Carrie is saying yes. Never heard it explained that way. I'm glad. Yes, that's the goal of the today's webinar, to give you a different perspective that nobody talks about. Nobody gives you this information, and my goal is to for you to become an educated dog owner, educated dog lover as well, right? So thank you for being here. It does make sense. The dogs are so easily distracted. Yes, they are very easily distracted, and that can work against you. That's a good question. Yes, definitely you want to train them separately in different environments because they are in different age, different training levels, right? So definitely, yes, you want to separate them and train them in different environments and different times as well. Cynthia says that's so true. Sometimes it's more overwhelming to me than my dog. Yes, yes. Sometimes, as a human being, as a dog owner, we get more overwhelmed about the situation or the learning or teaching that we're doing, and then what happens is we're projecting that energy to our dogs.
What's Cynthia's question?
My Nancy is same way. Akbash,
No,
is not all food motivated.
no,
This is just
Cynthia's
what I
question.
need. Um, thank you. Yes. I'm guessing maybe you're saying a kitab, maybe, but yes, all, dogs are in general are not food motivated. Uh, Shelters are now using playtime for dogs in LA. That's great to hear. I didn't know that. That's great. That's great. Yes. Golden Mind James says, smash the like button to say thanks to Sarah. Thank you. Yes, definitely. Great video. Um, yes, it's been a long time. So let's continue and Cynthia, I will answer your question in momentarily. So let's learn a simple command that you can start teaching your dog, that you should be using this command every day with your dog, right? So let me see what that let's see what that is. That is sit and stay, a command that you have to teach your dog and use it every day to gain control of your dog. Okay, so I'm going to show you how it. Okay, I see that there's no voice. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna uh, actually explain it. So the sit and stay is a command that you want to teach your dog. So what I ask you, suggest you to do is ask your dog to sit and stay, right? And you use your left, you put your dog on your left side, and for example, and you give the cue of, okay, you can move now, and your dog has to move when your left leg moves. Okay, so that's a twist in the training itself. You teach the dog to sit and stay, and get the dog to pay attention to you by paying attention to your leg. So you can see, I can say go okay, and she doesn't move until my left leg moves. You see, I'm moving my right leg, she's not moving. But if I go back and move my left leg, she moves. So that gives the dog the opportunity to connect with you, and gives you also the opportunity to connect with you. So this is a very simple command that you can teach your dog and practice with your dog, which I highly recommend. Yeah, and you can use this in many, many situations. If you're walking outside, you can use this. You're at home, for example, if there are people coming to see you and they're knocking on the door or ringing the doorbell, as John says, for example, I can ask my dog to sit and stay, and I can open the door and greet my dog, and my dog won't move until I have the permission to move in my left, and then the dog can go and interact with those guests, or dogs, or whatever it is, right? So it's a great way, a great tool to teach the dog and practice with the dog and learn and use it with your dog. And that is something that it's very important to learn. Anybody has a question about that technique? I teach that in my program in detail, in more depth, but that's something also you can learn on my channel as well. Let's continue with the presentation. So I want you to remember this. If you talk to animals, they will talk with you and you will know each other. If you don't talk to them, you will not know them. And what you don't know, you will fear. What one fears, one destroys. This is from a quote from Chief Dan George, who's an actor, who was an actor, musician, poet, and author. This is a great quote because it tells you that if you want to talk to your dog, they will talk to you, and if you talk to your dog, they will talk to you and they will know you, and you will get to know your dog, and your dog is going to get to know you better if you are able to talk to your dog. But if you don't talk to your dog properly and you don't know how to talk, you won't get to know your dog properly. And what you don't know about your dog, you're going to destroy it, right? If you fear your dog because you don't know your dog, you're going to damage it. You're going to cause more damage just because you don't know how to communicate to your dog, right? That's something that I want you to remember. So, how can you have a perfect dog overall? By having the perfect plan. What is a perfect plan? It's a perfect plan that allows you to learn at comfort of your home. You work with one-on-one with a professional dog trainer and with the ideal speed that is comfortable for you and your dog. Okay? So I can help you to get what you need to know and what you need to get. Like I can show you also what your dog can do for you. I have the perfect system. You know what the system is now, right? I have the perfect method. You know my method. If you invest time and energy and money, I have the perfect plan for you. So in my program, you get a lifetime program and plan. What that means is this program is not going to expire in a month or in a year. Never expires. You have this program as a lifetime. You're basically hiring me for life. You get weekly coaching calls. That's where you can come and ask me your questions. Any questions that you have, you can ask your questions on weekly basis. You get video updates and support on Facebook group and everywhere, right? You have an online video learning portal that you can go and watch videos and learn exactly what you're supposed to learn and know what to do. You also get workshops. We do workshop periodically regarding a targeted issue that we have to work on. We Everybody has issues. Every dog and person has different issues. We work on those little issues that everybody or someone has. You also get some free ebooks as a gift from me because you need to be an educated dog lover as well, right? You have 24/7 Q&A, email or text me, and that's 24/7 support that you can provide. This is an invitation only program. What that means is the only way that you can get into this program is by applying and having a video call with me to see if you are the ideal student for this program or not. And the link for this meeting is in the description of this video if you want to set up that session so we can meet to see if you're an ideal person for this program, if I'm an ideal dog trainer for you, right? You get a free video call today. You just have to fill out the application in the bottom of this link in this description, and we can have a online video meeting to see if we can chat. We can get along, and I become your lifetime dog trainer. If that's something that interests you, and if you want to get a lot more information, again, the links are in the description. You can go ahead and click on those and set up the day and ideal time that is ideal for you, and we can meet up and figure out if you want to join my program. If you trust me, if you believe in me, the information that I provided gave you something to think about, and you want to move further than that, this is an opportunity for you to join the program and learn more and get involved with your dog in deeper level. At the moment, I have some time. I'm going to answer some of your questions. The first question is from Cynthia. What is a good time to train your dog? A good time to train a dog is after you provide a good amount of exercise for your dog. After you physically stimulate your dog, you can provide mental stimulation for your dog. Training is a mental stimulation. After you have provided physical stimulation like walking, playing, things like that, then you can provide training. Should you feed your dog before training? I highly suggest not to, because I mean, in general, it doesn't really matter because we're not, in my system, we're not using food or treats. So you don't want your dog to be uncomfortable. If your dog is hungry and it's not going to pay attention to you, I will suggest to feed before you train. Most dog trainers who use treats or food to train dogs, what they do is they suggest to not to feed the dog and when, before training, then feed the food during the training. I don't agree with that. When you do that, you're kind of psychologically and mentally abusing the dog. To be honest with you, when you use treats or food, especially for a hungry dog, it's not good. It's not healthy. I don't suggest to not to do that, but make sure that your dog is not hungry. I mean, don't train your dog, when your dog is hungry. Just train it when it's happy, it's satisfied, right? How long should I do training? I suggest not shorter or not longer than 15 minutes a day if you're going to do. You don't have to do it every day either. Uh, I suggest to do 2 or 3 times a week maximum. The studies have shown that the more we train dogs, the worse they get. So the less training actually is better. Yes. So less training means less training during the days. Like you don't want to do every day. And also, you don't want to do it less than 15 minutes because 5 minutes is not enough. 10 minutes, 5 minutes is too short. 10 minutes is not enough. 15 minutes is ideal. Don't want to do more than 15 minutes either because then it's not good for the dog. Dog loses attention. So yeah, not more than 15 minutes. But again, if you use my dog training method, which is using play and praise, the good thing is you can play and praise and train your dog every day. And it's beneficial, it's healthy, as I explained. You don't get negative effects when you use play and praise to reward your dog, and you can train your dog every day. Every day you can have fun, yet you train your dog. But if you're using treat training and things like that, definitely you don't want to train them every day. I hope that answered your questions, Cynthia. Let me quickly go through the chat one more time. Miki Tarian sounds familiar. Remember me? It sounds familiar. I can't remember now. Can you tell us why our beagles keep biting our ankles? Thanks. The reason they do that because they're bored. They're physically and emotionally not stimulated. So they are using your ankles as a tool and activity to entertain themselves. All it says to you that um, you need to provide more mental and physical stimulation for your beagles. So more walks, more play times, more training, right? Um, Let's go to next question. Janet, I have a 6-month-old puppy and 6-year-old dog. Do I train them separately? I think I answered that one. Um, whose question did I skip? Um, Nancy, how do I get my excited adopted stray pit bull mix to stop jumping all over me when I put my socks and boots on the to go outside? She refuses to settle down and wait until I'm ready to go. So remember in the lessons today I was explaining about association. So your dog has associated that when you're putting your boots on, right, it's time to go. So your dog is associating boots with going out, which is fun, right? So one thing that I want you to learn, this is a little bit too deep, too nerdy, but I'll explain. So dogs, your dog going to the park for a walk or whatever is excited and it's happy. It's enjoying that moment, right? This excitement and enjoyment has a trace. It starts from somewhere and ends there, right? So if you trace back, your boots, putting your boots on is one of the points. But before you put the boots on, there's something else also that it's a signal that this excitement is going to happen, right? So you want to figure out what that is and start calming your dog in that point. Before you put your boots on, what else is happening that is a signal to your dog that it's that joy is going to happen, that happiness is going to happen. Figure that out and start working on calming your dog that place, that spot. When your dog, when dogs are excited, so this is another reason why I don't suggest group classes or private dog trainers, and I suggest to learn and train your dogs at home because excitement mind cannot learn, cannot take in information. So when you're putting your boots on, when you're putting on your boots, that's not the time to tell your dog to calm down. You're going to lose it. You're going to lose the war at that moment. You have to trace back what else or what other things are you doing that leads to that spot that you're putting boots on where the excitement goes really high, and then the walk is really high, even higher, right? So you have to trace it down where it all begins and start there. Does it make sense? I hope that makes sense. It's more technical way of answering this question, but I love this question, and I hope it made sense. These are things that you learn in my program. We go in deeper levels. We go in cellular level of learning about dogs. She doesn't pay attention to John says she doesn't pay attention to my leg movement, but when I release her, I say okay and release word and talk to Ruth all the time. It's good to add that physical uh, addition to the training as well because it allows the dog to literally physically pay attention to you, right? Not just the verbal, but also physically. You want your dog to pay attention to you physically, verbally, emotionally, in deeper level. You want your dog to pay attention to you in deeper level. I remember, I wrote a book in my book, Dogs Five Essential Needs. I wrote this book a few years ago, and it's available on Amazon. Um, one part, one of my clients, yeah, somebody just said, the part that stood out for me in this book was the part that you said, when you off leash your dog, if your dog takes away, that means your dog doesn't have a connection with you. Yes, it's very important to understand this. If you off leash your dog takes away, takes off, that means you don't have that connection. Your dog is not paying attention to you physically, mentally, emotionally, verbally, and all that. So to improve that, with that we add those additional physical lessons as well to the dog. Carrie is saying, can you send a link? Um, First of all, what link are we talking about, and where do I send the link? Uh, if you're looking for the link to register to set up the booking for the online meeting, you can see it in the description, the program, the link to the program. Everything is in the description of this video. Nancy has a question. Okay, I think I just answered. What makes the perfect candidate for your training course? What makes the perfect candidate? So I'll answer it. Let me bring the Hmm, the answer is where did I see it? Hold on. Let me give you the answer. There it is. Uh, the perfect candidate for the this program is a person who wants to have the perfect dog. In your mind, whatever that perfection is, you want to have the perfect dog, and you're motivated. That means you have a reason to change your dog's behavior to be perfect, and you're willing to commit to the system and the method that I'm going to be teaching you in the program, and also also going to invest time and money. This is a person candidate, the perfect candidate for the program. If it's someone who's willing to invest time and energy and money to learn a system and method that is going to solve their problems and give them a perfect dog. Great question. Thank you for asking that question. Yes. Thank you, sir. I get it now. Not getting his energy out or giving him enough exercise before training. Yes. Next question. Best dog treat for dogs' teeth health. There is no treat or food that will improve your dog's dental health. You can't, in this case, you can't use fire to deal with fire. In this case, you have to either manually brush your dog teeth, or you have to give raw bones for your dog to um, chew on it and gnaw on it. That's the only way to have clean teeth. The other aspect of good clean teeth is the diet. If you improve your dog's diet and you add additional supplements in your dog's diet, it will help with the teeth dental health as well. I will put it in I will put the link to this video. Let me see, do I have it in I will put it in the description after this live session. Please check it in 5-10 minutes after this live session. That makes sense. I have to recall my steps. Yes, it's very important. Thank you. I took notes on your answer. Very good. All right. Thank you very much, everybody, for being live in this webinar. I hope you enjoyed this live webinar and you gained something from this webinar. You learned something. At least you took away something from this webinar. Even if you are not planning to become a member of my program and a student, I want to tell you that I appreciate the time that you took to come and learn about your dog, and that is my goal. I want to be able to give you information to help you to become an educated dog owner. But if you need additional help and support from somebody who you trust and you believe in and you understand and you figure out that this is the best concept for you, it makes sense to you, and if you want to have a dog trainer who's motivated to help you to become even more educated dog lover and have the perfect dog, and work with me for a lifetime of your dogs to come, current dog and dogs to come, I have a program that it can help you, it can support you, and we offer weekly coaching calls. We have so many benefits in that. I fully support you in the goal that you have. You have videos that you can go and watch on your own. You can interact with me in the program as well. If you have any issues, questions, and problems, I help you. Before work on certain things that it's beneficial for everybody. If it's something that it's uh, bothering you, you can always 24/7. You can email or text me, and we'll deal with that. My goal is to have the perfect client and for you to be the perfect student and have the best dog so you can go and talk about me to others, right? And it's an only invitation only program. All you have to do is book a free video call with me today, and the link is in the description. We'll talk about it and we'll figure out if this is the right program for you or not. And if that makes sense, let me know. And also, all the links are in the description, all the information. I want to thank you for being here. I hope you enjoyed it. I had fun, and I will see you until next time. Okay, until next time, have fun with your dog.